were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian.
Well,
like this one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Bang! What's happening, everybody? I hope you like my new intro that I just created this afternoon. Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that talks about reality TV from a mental health perspective. Hey, Retro, what's going on today? Thank you. So this is just a quick update and recap on the Winner's Circle interview with Cody and Derek. Shout out to them. I haven't watched the Winner's Circle in months, actually, but I checked it out today because they said that they have updates on what's going on with the new Big Brother season. Thank you. And to be honest with you, it felt like it was kind of just an update just to put themselves back in the algorithm. And trust me, I get it, because that's kind of part of why I do my updates, minus the 5 minutes of promoting manscaping products that they do. I know that's one of their sponsors, but I'm like, man, these manscaping introductions are getting longer and longer and longer. I guess that's the price of getting paid to do your podcasts. Not paid off of the views, but actually getting paid by a sponsor. You have to say whatever the sponsor requires you to say. But anyways, their update, as a lot of us know already, is that they were part of the Big Brother special that is going to be airing, I think, this week, I believe. The 26th, I think. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I guess that would be Wednesday. I guess they are airing the Big Brother special, not the premiere, but a special that they filmed with a lot of returning house guests. And that's going to be held on the 26th of July, which seems to be a Wednesday. So I'll definitely be watching and recapping that when it comes on. Now, the only real update that they gave about the season is that they said that there's going to be a lot of social media influencers on there. They mentioned that Big Brother recruited a lot of people from TikTok and a lot of people that have followings already. They alluded to this on their channel. You can watch it and see what they said for themselves, but let me see. I'm so excited. Yeah, me too. The thing is, Derek made the point that it is a show. So they have to make sure that people watch the show. And recruiting people from social media that have big followings already, I know brings more eyes to the show. But for the people who really love the essence of Big Brother, it kind of takes away from it a little bit, because a lot of times, those people that come to the show that already have a following and are already kind of successful in their lane are just looking to expand their following rather than to win the game. Because then you get a bunch of people who a lot of times haven't even watched the show that just get a random reach out from production. Production is like, hey, so-and-so with 500,000 followers on TikTok, we would love for you to try out for the show. And not every show is as big of a deal, because, for an example, you'll see it in my interview with Sam, but she was outreached by production. And, obviously she did great on the show and she won the show. But let's be honest, The Circle is a different show than Big Brother. Like, if you don't love Big Brother and if you're not there to win Big Brother, it definitely messes with the integrity of the game a little bit. So I'm not so happy about that part. I am excited about Big Brother regardless, but I hope there's not too many recruits this year. I really do. What's up, sir? Thank you, Retro, for sending Bill. Casual BB fans are tourists. The diehards are local. I always like how you phrase things, Rich. I really do. The way how you put things is always really funny. It's so true. Because it's like, they're like, oh, it brings more brand awareness. Here's the thing. If it significantly alters the show, having people that are on there for fame more than they are to win, then the new people that you're bringing on to watch the show kind of compromise the show. So what I'm trying to say is the fans, you might get more eyes on the show, but if the show is different, that sucks for the show because everything that the show is doing has to have some kind of core concept behind it and like core set of values that they're trying to achieve from the show. So I get what Cody was saying because Cody was kind of alluding to you got to change with the times, but sometimes you get too much into changing the show. And I actually feel like that happened with the challenge. I like the challenge. I love the challenge, as a matter of fact. One of my favorite shows and probably still my favorite competition show. However, I look at it and what it is today and see how much it has been influenced by the outside world and by trying to do too much to keep up and keep the viewership up. And sometimes you just do too much. And I think a lot of times with a lot of things, sticking to the basics of what got you there, it can go a long way. Yes, you had to change. You got to throw in some new twists. You got to factor in things that were not in existence in whenever it started, late 90s, early 2000s era. You know, the things are a lot different now. So yes, you do have to change with the times, but you don't have to completely change the show, completely change the people you put on the show. Now, if we think back to Big Brother season 24, you know, we had bullying, we had racism. It was kind of a hard season to watch. And honestly, when I did my watch party, even just watching back like 2.5 out of the first 4 episodes, I was like, man, some parts of this are rough to watch. The Taylor parts in the beginning, rough to watch. That's another thing I'm wondering about. I'm wondering about cast diversity. I'm wondering if they're going to bring in anybody from out of the country again, like they did with Indy. You know, like, I'm wondering what parts of the world this cast is from. I'll be very interested actually to see even just the cast release. Does anybody know when the cast is being released? Retro, I'm sure Retro knows. She is on it. Yeah, it was. I don't use this word often, but cringe. It was cringe. Oh, in a week? Oh, they don't do the introductions until the show actually starts? Okay. Or you mean a week from today? Or do you mean like a week as in August 2? Nappy. What's up, Miss Nappy Kid? Miss Nappy Kid was one of the first followers on my music and mental health channel and actually introduced me to a Discord. Does that Discord still go on? I don't remember. I haven't been there in a while. Can't wait. They do it a week. Oh, so then it should be this week then, Retro, because the show starts next week. I wonder if they're making it a part of the special. Like, I wonder if the cast preview will be a part of the hour special. Yeah, it's nice to have on. It's nice to have on the people that have been here from the start. And I look forward to building this channel up so that when the season starts, everything's going to be streamlined through here. My other channel I'm still going to have, but that channel I'm mostly going to focus on my mental health content only. And this channel I'm mostly going to focus on my Big Brother and reality TV content only. By the way, let me know what you guys think of my logo up here. I made this logo myself. Let me show you a bigger form of my logo. I can find it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's what the logo looks like. I, for years, for at least 4 or 5 years, have been using Fiverr. I don't know if you guys know about Fiverr. I've used Fiverr to create all my logos. This is like probably the first one that I ever created by myself. So I'm doing different branding things to make it easier to recognize. It's all kind of dark in my room. Is that what you're talking about? Because if so, it's because I don't have my what's it called? I didn't turn on my external light that I usually have on. Didn't feel like it. But usually I have it on. I'm trying to keep up with these comments. Also, Flake is the artist formerly known as Rich. If any of you remember Rich, Rich is Flake and Flake is Rich. I just learned that the last time I went on live. The logo is nice. Thank you. Love it. Oh, and for those of you who didn't see my new intro, I'm going to throw that on here again. I mean, I know you could just rewind it, but hey.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on everything.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? But I like this Canadian. I
Well,
like this one.
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's my new intro for those who didn't see it before. I think Retro was the only person on when I just started this live, so that would be everyone else. Yeah, Wes is awesome. I've told this story before, but I will tell this on here because I've never said it on this channel. I said it on Music and Mental Health channel. I can't remember now if it was a year ago or more than a year ago, but I'm going to go with over a year ago, well over a year ago. I reached out to Wes on his Patreon. Before, I was just following his Patreon and watching his videos, and I might drop some comments on his videos. But then I was like, oh, Patreon has an inbox feature for the content creators. So I was like, most people are like, yo, I'm your biggest fan. I love you, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Wes is a business guy. So I'm just going to drop some questions in there about business and see how he responds or if he responds. And I didn't know if he was going to respond or what he was going to say. So I told him I want to create a channel that is based around mental health. I also want to cover reality TV, tie those things together. And I said I want to get that monetized and figure out a way to like earn a living basically doing this, what I'm doing right now, right? So I was just throwing that in the air. Oh, let me look at these comments really quick. I love it. I like this Canadian too. Thank you. The audio is fire. Thank you. So I didn't know what Wes was gonna say. Wes actually reached back out. He was like, "Oh, thanks so much for the question." He said, "I want to hit you with some expectations management." And I was like, "Oh, expectations management. That sounds fancy." He said, "What you're trying to do is very hard and cliche." I don't know if he actually used the word cliche, but you know, that was the gist of what he said to me. Like, it's a very hard market to break into. It's very oversaturated. He definitely said it was oversaturated. And he was like, "I'm just letting you know that. That's the expectations management part of it." And he was like, "I'm not telling you don't do it. I'm just telling you if you're doing it basically with the expectation of it has to make me a big income or else, don't do it. But if you're doing it because you're passionate about it, then by all means keep going." And then he circled back actually, because I didn't answer that right away. And he said, "Hey, I hope that I wasn't too harsh with what I said or kill your dream or anything." And I was like, honestly, it was a little bit hard to hear, but I appreciate the honesty of it. And he was like, "I'm just letting you know, even though I'm telling you that it's hard and it's unconventional," he was like, "look at somebody like me. I love difficult and unconventional. So I'm not telling you don't do it. I'm just saying be realistic with what you expect out of it." And I'll tell you something. I sat with that for a while, because imagine Wes Bergman is my favorite challenger of all time. I reached out to him. He responded to me, right? I asked him about my dream that I had. And of course, the fan in me hopes that he's like, "You can do it, man. One foot in front of the other, and you're gonna be some big star mental health advocate." You know, so it was hard to hear him, because I respect him and I respect his opinion, and I know that he does a lot of stuff with his own business. So I'm like, Wes is telling me that this is going to be really hard. But then I was like, you know what? I'd rather that than somebody give me some BS. So I kept that in mind, and I said, I do have a passion for this. I do have a passion for it. So regardless of whether it makes me $1, a dime, $100, 1,000, 100,000, a million, nothing, I'm still going to enjoy it. So with that in mind, I kept pushing along. And to give you guys a timeline, this is well before you started following me for Big Brother. So I kept pushing along and putting content out that was getting 10 views, 8 views, 12 views. Some of that content is still on my other page. But because I was fueled by the passion of how I felt about what I was doing, is why I kept going. Until finally, something worked for me, which was Big Brother. Surprisingly, because at the time I reached out to him, I think I had watched only the cookout season of Big Brother. And even that, I wasn't even watching the live feeds. I caught a couple of hours worth of live feed footage of the cookout season. I barely watched the live feeds on that season. I just discovered its existence. Well, I knew it existed because they tell you, but I was not interested. I'm like, why do I want to watch these surveillance cameras? I get it now. Don't worry about it. I get it now. That was then. That was me then. I've been converted. But yeah, that was a pivotal moment. I want to thank Wes for that. I know he might not even see this video, but if he does, thank you to Wes for that real talk advice. I'm a fan of real people. And that's why when I meet one or speak to one, I make sure to let them know. And even if it's just a person in my everyday, day-to-day, same thing. I appreciated that advice from Wes. Now, what else was I gonna say? Ayana. I had to put Ayana as the first person in that first intro, in the first part of the intro, because of the fact that Ayana was the first person from any show, possibly the first person to even respond to me. Not that I was reaching out to too many of them back in the day, but possibly the first one to even respond to me. But even if she wasn't the first one to respond at all, she was the first one to respond and say something more than like, thanks for being a fan. Because typically that's what a lot of them do. I'm not going to say all, because I know a lot of people have had more meaningful experiences, but there's a lot of thanks for being a fan or no response. And I don't blame them for that. Because I understand if you have a page that has 100,000, 200,000 followers and you get messages all day and all night, I understand you're not going to take time to respond to all of them. But the reason why I remember her responses is because, you know, I told her about something on the show that inspired me, whatever. And then next thing you know, I saw that she had followed me. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, Ayana followed me. But then she's like commenting on all this stuff on the page. She was like, man, I'm inspired by the fitness stuff that you're doing all the time, all those races that you do. I love the music that you play. That's really cool. I like your attitude about mental health. You know, I'm a big advocate for that myself. I like this. I like that. There was that aspect of it. And then she was leaving me voice notes. She was like asking me about how my life is doing. She was checking on me with my dad. Come on, Flake. Y'all be doing the most. Hey, Zuda man. Disclaimer, that was not the case for those of y'all who like to read into things. But anyways, she checked on me with how my dad was doing, which was, you know, like her and John Brennan, two people that I never expected to spend so much time like talking to me about my family. And in the case of Ayana, she actually met my sister, and she met my sister like must have been a couple of weeks after our dad passed. And she invited us to this barbecue. We went over there, and it was really it was a really cool experience. My sister liked her. So speaking to her and getting that interview with her actually is what gave me the confidence to ask others to do interviews with me, because she was the first that I ever asked. She was the only one that I had ever asked. And then she recommended John to me. So I reached out to John. We got that John interview done. And after I interviewed John, I got my interview with Wes, who was also in there. And the end of that soundbite where you see Sam like, I like this Canadian, I like this one. That was my first in-person interview. And I had to put that on there because hopefully this week on this channel, I'm going to be dropping that interview. And I'm very excited to see the footage. I don't have it yet. Waiting on the videographer, but I'm sure the footage is going to be really cool. I've never done anything like that before. I have done like an in-person interview. I've done a few in-person interviews, but that was with my family and friends. So that was my first one with anyone from the reality TV realm. So that's the reason why I included those four in my intro. I also wanted to try to incorporate a couple of the other ones, Alyssa and forgive me with my memory, I'm forgetting. I'm tired. This was a long weekend. Alyssa and somebody else. that I wanted to put in there, but I couldn't find the right soundbite to put in there. These ones just kind of fit, so that's why I use them. The music in the intro is from my software, from my video software. I'm hopefully, yeah, it should be good to stay up there. That just made me think of how YouTube puts copyright claims on things, but this is from my video software, and I think that paying for the subscription to the software gives you the license to put it online. So those are pivotal people. Those are pivotal people for different reasons in my journey. So that's why I chose them for this particular intro. Y'all know the intro is going to change when I get like Barack Obama, you know, Oprah, Michael Jordan. You know, when I start getting some of those people, they're going to push these ones out, possibly. But for now, they have been pivotal people in my journey of like reality TV stuff. And then when I go to the what's it called, premiere party next week. So I didn't tell you guys this. I am going to a Big Brother premiere party. I told everybody that on August 2nd. On August 1st, they have a lip sync battle with stars from Big Brother, Jersey Shore, Challenge, I believe Amazing Race. Just a lot. Those people hang out in flocks. Like every time they have events like that, a bunch of them come and they're going to be doing a lip sync battle. So that's going to be really fun. I'm definitely going. Not only am I going, I got the VIP ticket for that one. So the VIP ticket gets you in the back and gets you to meet all the people individually. I'm pretty sure that's what it said on my ticket anyways. So I'm excited about that. I'll have stuff to put on this page August 1 and August 2. August 3 is probably when I'm going to start diving into the live feeds because I won't be home for August 1 and August 2 to do that. But August 3, if it's up there, we going to be starting with that. August 3. And all my Big Brother stuff is going to shift over to this page. I've been promoting it on the other page, but that's just because that's the page that I have built my following base on there. But for the next week, I'm going to keep telling everybody, please subscribe to this page. And I know they're not because I only have 75 subscribers on this page, 2,000 on the other. And I know that all 2,000 on that page are not following me for Big Brother, but I know a lot more than 75 are. So spread that word. Another thing, I guess this has just become an update. You know what, Retro? I will. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm going to tell all of them that. But you know what? One of my friends can vouch and attest to the fact that I met a couple of challengers and they asked me to get a shout out, and I did. And they did it. Mark Long and Johnny Bananas. So I will definitely tell somebody that Retro loves them. I don't know if you guys have Reddit, but I just started a Reddit account. And the reason why I started a Reddit account is because I'm trying to get my videos more out there, and Reddit is definitely a great place to do that from what I've seen. And the reason why I learned that, y'all are going to think this is funny. The reason I learned that Reddit is a great place to get your content out there is because last year when I went to Big D's birthday party, my regulars were like, Mark, please do a live tomorrow when you get home and you're rested and everything to tell us about your experience. And I was like, I got you guys. You know I got you. So the next day I was excited to get on the page and talk about my experience at Big D's birthday party. Big D from BB23. So I got on here, I started talking. I had so many viewers, and I was like, I have more viewers on here than usual. This is kind of strange. So then, after I was done my recap, my comment section, Big D's dad, Smoking Joe Frazier, rest in peace to him. My comment section was crazy after that. And I was like, who are these people telling me I'm weird and telling me I'm stalking them and telling me I need to get off Jailer and get my own life and telling me this and this? Because I was like, I talked about Jailer on that live for about 5 minutes, if that. And I didn't say much about Jailer. The only thing that I said is, out of all the people there, Joseph and Taylor, I didn't interact with that much. They were in the VIP section for quite a lot of the time. I did talk to Taylor briefly. It was a nice conversation. I didn't get to talk to Joseph at all. But that's literally what I said. So I'm like, and then I started getting comments in my Instagram inbox, my Facebook inbox, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. What did I say? How did the jailers find my page and swarm like a beehive or something, right? And then somebody said in my Instagram inbox, they were like, to tell you the truth, a clip of your video was posted in Reddit. And the video had like the most views of any video I had ever posted to that point. So they were like, a clip of it was posted in Reddit, and everybody was furious with you on Reddit. And I was like, what goes on in this Reddit that all of a sudden this little video that I did on my little channel that wasn't even monetized at that time gets like thousands and thousands of views and so many people angry at me to even find my Instagram and talk crazy to me in the DMs and all that. So I was like, you know what? I should be in Reddit, looking at it and interacting in there, posting my videos in there and having some control of the narrative, but also using it to boost the numbers because that matters. Rich, we all enjoy telling people off. And sometimes I was just telling one of my friends, people get shocked when they try me in real life because they look at how I engage with people on the internet and think that that's just how I am always. Nah, when I get here and I sit down in this chair, I'm having fun, but I'm doing business. So I conduct myself in that way. And some people don't, and they still have successful channels. You know, like some people are not professional, and everyone who watches them feeds off of the drama and the toxicity. But that's not me. The same way how I go into a work environment, and no matter what's going on in the work environment, I handle my business behind the scenes, is pretty much the same way that I am on the internet. Now, I will say, you're very inviting, calming even. I will say this, though. When I was getting that storm of comments on my page, I almost wanted to close my page. A lot of people wouldn't be honest about that. I am. I'll be very frank about that. When I saw those comments, I was like, I did not do or say anything malicious about either of those people. I didn't spread a false rumor like people were saying. I wasn't trying to bring them down as a couple. It's none of that. I was literally just talking about Mark's experience in that room. There's other people in that room who saw them, spoke to them, did whatever with them, hung, danced with them, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. But that wasn't my experience. So I got on my channel and talked about my experience, and then had people talk about me like a dog. like I had done something disrespectful or wrong. And I was like, if that's what this internet is about, dogpiling a good person like myself and trying to smear my reputation, maybe this internet thing is not what I'm cut out for. But I'll tell you what changed and made me stay. I would go through all the comments, and there was a lot of them. You're this, and you're this, and you're this. And then I would see the comments of the people who had been following and subscribing and commenting to my stuff regularly in between all those comments. And y'all were like, don't worry about the trolls. They're going to come and go. They come and go in waves. You know, like this thing is going to be over. We're still going to be there. They're going to be gone. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing a dissatisfaction to those people who really support me by investing my energy into the random ones who only jump on to create drama. So I left it alone. The comments died out. The comments will come back. They're going to come and go. That's how it goes. When the Big Brother season comes and goes. But that experience really prepared me for what is needed. Most of the people who are saying those things, like 90% of them, are not up there like this. They're not willing to put themselves on a public platform. They have egg avatars or, like cartoon avatars, no videos. They're randoms. They're stalking my page. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your face looks like. I've never heard your voice. You're stalking my page. Telling me I'm stalking people at events that I attend and go up to them and speak to them and I'm on video speaking with them in the video. Yeah. Thank you to those trolls. Thank you to those trolls. But a bigger thank you to all of you who have gotten to know who I am, who defend me when you see that stuff, who support me whether they're there or not, and who are going to be there as I keep going up and I keep moving forward and I keep figuring this thing out. And I'm really excited to cover Big Brother again. It has felt like the biggest drought. It has felt something missing in my life. And the extra long wait, and then the terrible travesty that BB Can did. Which music video? Who cares what randoms think? Yeah. And that wasn't a dig at the people who have considered it and are having issues with that. Because to be honest with you guys, I was scared to go on camera. I've had years of YouTube pages. This is like my 6th or 7th YouTube page. This one right here. My music and mental health page. I've made several pages before that music and mental health page. And when I first started making pages, I just started covering pop culture, but I wasn't speaking or showing my face. I was just showing the video of what was going on. Retro, I've seen you on camera before. I have definitely been on one of your lives that you've been on camera. But yeah, I never showed my face and I never spoke. And then what happened? I really was starting to get frustrated with the lack of engagement on my page. Oh, I guess I was, because I remember you even titled it, or you put like a community post like, I'm going live with video today. And I went on that video. I didn't realize that was your only one. But yeah, anyways, like I was trying to get to, I was getting tired of my page not having engagement. So I was like, this is a last ditch effort. Let me just hop on this camera, see what happens. I turned on the camera. I was like, I bet you I'm going to be on for like 5 minutes. Nobody's going to even get on. And then I'm just going to hop back off and probably just delete the video and move on. Funny enough, soon as I get on, I see a little one eye. It shows you like a little eye in the corner of how many viewers are watching your channel. And I was like, how is somebody already watching me? This is my first live video. I didn't announce it to anybody. And then I'm like, I don't even know who this person is. It's just like a number. If they don't say anything in the chat, I don't know who they are. So I'm just talking. And I'm like, there's only one person in here. So I can still close it. You know, it's just going to be one random person. And then a second person came in there. Right. And then the second person, well, I can't even say whether it was the first or second person, but one of the two commented in the chat and they were like, do you always cover Big Brother? Because if so, I don't know how I missed your channel. And I was like, this is literally the first time I've ever gone live on YouTube. So they were like, shoot, you need to start doing this regularly. So I was like, that's just one person. Then I'm looking, I'm talking 2, 3, 10. I think 10 people joined me that first day. And they were very actively engaged. And I stayed on there for a good amount of time. And then everybody was like, when is the next time you're doing this? And I'm like, will all of you be back? They were like, if you're going to be back, yes. So I said, okay, tomorrow at whatever time, I'll hop back on. I expected to see the same 10 people. And the next day there was 20 people. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. There's like 20 people sitting here watching me. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot. I've never had that many people online on a live watch me at one time. So the 20 people were like, oh, shoot, I've never seen you on here before. Do you do this often? And I was like, if y'all enjoy it, I'll be back tomorrow. Then it went like 40, 50 something. You guys remember, probably most of you remember, I used to actually screen capture each night and be like, yo, give me that record for views and likes, everybody. 100, 125. We would have like a goal number and I would stay on and wait to the likes until the number, and wait up and stay up until we reach the number. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm tired, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm fumbling on my words. I think at its highest peak towards the end of the Big Brother season, I might have had like 400 something on my live, which is a lot for me. You know, like I hope and expect to surpass that at some point in this season. But this page is kind of like starting fresh almost. So it might take a little time to get there. It might not. I'm just here, just being me, and whatever comes from that comes from that. But I have high expectations for myself. And that comes from, you know, the confidence that y'all who have been watching me all this time have given me. I appreciate y'all for that. And also, there's another reason I'm doing it. This is a picture of me and my dad from a few years ago. And this is another picture of him. And one of the last things, not one of the last things, I shouldn't say that, but when he was sick, there was this one time he used to ask me to put on his music for him. Like he would watch certain videos on YouTube. And one time I had a video up that I had put on my own YouTube page, and I accidentally had that on the TV, or I forgot to turn it off or change it. And I came over to him and he was sitting on the couch smiling. So I was like, oh, what happened? Do you want me to put on another one of your music videos? And I put on one of his Christian music videos. And he looked like, this is when he had the dementia and he couldn't communicate, easily. So he looked like that wasn't what he wanted me to put on. So I was like, so what do you want me to put on, a different song? He was like, no, your video. And I was like, my video? What is my video? And I was like, oh, so I went into the history and saw that it was actually a video of me speaking about mental health that I had on my music and mental health page. So I put it on, I put another one on, and he's just sitting there like smiling and ear to ear looking at the video. And he was like, this is so good. Like, you need to figure out, how to make this a career because you're very good at that. Then I put on a next video. I showed him my whole catalog from that time period, and he was just beaming when he was watching it. So I think about that. I said this to Sam. I guess this is kind of a spoiler because I really want you guys to just see it when you see the interview drop. Actually, I don't even think I said this part in the interview. I might have said this to her after the interview. Something about my dad is that he was somebody who was very persistent, and he went after the things that he wanted, and he did whatever it takes to get those things, and he always got them. I don't know how. Strong will, perseverance, but he always got those things. So when I decided that I wanted to interview Sam, and I'm not going to say that there was any guarantee, because obviously you can do all the right things and the person can still tell you no. I've been told no before. But I was like, I feel like I need this interview to reinvigorate my spirit, because my spirit is low right now. It's like very low. So when I saw her flyer pop up on Instagram that she was going to be at such and such place hosting this party, I was like, I'm going in there with the mindset that I'm going to talk to her. This is on my page. I have a video of this on my page that I posted before I went in there. I'm going to go in there, meet her, talk to her, and secure this interview. I had no plans for it to be an in-person interview. That was something she threw out there. So I went there with every intention of getting that. So I went over there. I got there like 8 o'clock. It said that she was going to be there 7 to 11. I got there like 8 o'clock. And then I was like, where's Sam? Wondering where she is. 8, 9, 10, 11. Mind you, I have a race the next day. So it gets to like midnight. And I'm like, is she going to not show up? Then it gets to like 1. And I'm like, what time do these places close at like 6 o'clock in the morning in New York? So I feel like I don't want to sit here indefinitely. But the part that kept me there was tapping into a little bit of that never say die, never give up attitude of my father. And being like, I'm not leaving here. At the very least, I have to be told that she is 100% not coming. Nobody told me that. And I'm like, at the very least, I have to see her and speak to her, right? Y'all, I was about to turn this off in like 20 minutes, but the engagement always keeps me on here longer. So bear with me for a second. I know I'm like mid-story, but I have to grab my charger. If anyone shows up, let them know Let them know that your boy is on his way back. In the meantime, this channel is sponsored by Manscaped. Inside joke if you were here at the beginning. Apologies for that. I literally didn't pick up my charger because I was like, this is going to be really short. And then people hopped on. Happy Fun Day. He is so handsome and I love how you dress like him. Honestly, well, you can't see it, but well, you can kind of see it in the corner, but all these ties, like 90% of my tie collection, he gave me these ties. Anyways, that's just a side note. Yeah, so to get this interview with Sam was not like ABC 1, 2, 3. I waited for her in that place for about 5 hours. About 5 hours. How many people would do that? Okay. 5 hours. But I'm like, I refuse to leave. Like I said, unless I am told for sure she's not coming. And aside from that, I'm going to wait for her and I'm going to meet her. I'm going to give her the thing that I made for her. And I'm going to, at the very least, ask her if she'll do an interview with me. And I was expecting, even if she said yes, it would be Zoom. But I was very persistent with that. I'm going somewhere with this. Actually, she spotted me. I know, 5 hours. I waited 5 hours for the interview itself. And then when the interview day came, we had a long rain delay. So it's like persistence is the name of the game here. Persistence is the name of the game. And I would not have gotten it any other way because I had messaged her before. I had sent an email to her business email, never got responses to that, which she now told me that it's managed by a manager. So anyways, I had to do it that way. Oh, did I eat something? No, I didn't. I was hangry. I was hungry and angry. I didn't want to eat because I had my race the next day and it was late at night into the wee hours of the morning. So anyway, she got there. And as many of those events that I have been to, I never had the confidence to actually walk up to somebody at the event and ask them to do an interview with me. Every interview that I have gotten so far, what has been through DMing or emailing them and getting a response that way. But the talking to them thing, I didn't have the confidence to ask them. I had the confidence to hold a conversation with them, but not to be like, I have a channel and I would like for you to be on it type of thing. So it was a lot for me to do that. And it was stepping out of my comfort zone. And first of all, she looked like she was happy that I was her fan when I got there. And I was like caught off guard by that. And I told her that I interviewed Chaz before. That's the only thing I said. I was like, what do you want me to do? Host an event with you? Interview in person? I was like, what? I thought that I was going to have to make some kind of sales pitch, but I didn't make a sales pitch. I just mentioned that I interviewed Chaz. And right after that, she kind of offered me for that. So I was like, for real? Like, are you serious? It was that easy? I didn't say it was that easy, but I was thinking in my head, it was that easy. And then there was a process, because that was like 5 weeks ago when I met her. And that interview just happened last week. And that's because her schedule, you know, I had to figure out. Basically, I had to wait until she had an opening in her schedule. Let's just say that. And it took a little while, but I was like, I'm going to be persistent with this. Whenever that door opens, I'm running through the door. And I locked it in and I did it. And let me tell you something. Whether that interview, and this is not me trying to downplay anything, but seriously, whether that interview gets 1 view or 1 million views, I am excited about the fact that I set out to do something. I mapped it out. I made a game plan for myself. I followed all the steps that I needed to follow. I waited patiently. I worked really hard. I prepared for it. I showed up when the time came, and I did what I set out to do. I didn't almost do it. And if you've been following, you know, things that I have said about my dad, I said this in my speech for his funeral. When he would come home at night when I was a kid, he would be like, how's the homework coming along? The only answer he wanted me to say is, I'm finished. And I love to tell him that I was almost finished. And he hated to hear that answer, because he was like, there's no such thing as almost. So it's something that since he's been gone, I have thought about daily. When you start something, stick with it, get it done. So this was very meaningful for me, to set out to do something I had never done before, to think about how I was going to achieve that, to spend those 5 hours waiting in that nightclub, to present this idea to her, to wait those 3 to 4 weeks before the opening happened in the schedule for her to be available, and to just clear my schedule. I had a full schedule that day, cleared it to make sure that I had that opportunity to do what I set out to do. Withstood the rain delay and you know, other things that cause delays. And saw this thing through to completion. And you guys are going to see a product of 21 hours of hard work, working on the actual questions and commentary and everything, preparing, plus a couple of hours driving to and from Brooklyn, 5 hours waiting in the club, and, you know, this is the product of the lessons that guy taught me. I didn't expect to go into all that, but sometimes when I get to talking, you know, things just come out. But I appreciate y'all for sticking through here, listening. And as always, I say this all the time. I appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. It keeps me going. And I can't wait until the Big Brother season starts again, which will be next week. And we're going to start it all up again. I'm here for the rodeo. I hope everyone has a great evening, and I'll talk to you all soon.